Hello and welcome to the Irresistible Marketing Pod, the podcast that wants to save you from doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, aka the definition of insanity. I'm your host, Isa Gauchi, your marketing confidence cheerleader and owner of the Isa Messaging digital marketing agency for personal brands and small business baddies such as yourself. Today's topic is, you know what to do, just not how to make yourself do it, and why more information is not the solution. So, if information about how to do marketing, how to increase leads, how to close more clients were enough, you'd be doing it already. Because I know you're smart. You know how to Google, you know how to read articles, you know how to listen to podcasts. You've probably worked with mentors or coaches before. You probably have taken a bunch of courses. You probably have bought courses that are still unopened somewhere in the internet sphere that you could go refer to right now. So, what's happening between knowing what to do and actually doing it? Well, probably some mind drama, maybe some distraction, maybe even slipping into some avoidance tendencies to avoid the emotional discomfort. And the fact is, more information doesn't solve this. You need support to actually do the darn thing. So let's talk about creating the conditions that make it safe to face the scary stuff. This year, I introduced Avoiding Avoidance events to the squad, my marketing mastermind for big-hearted black sheep rebel entrepreneurs, where we bring our stickiest projects, the ones we know we need to do but have many sneaky ways of not actually doing them. We bring these to the Avoiding Avoidance group. We set our intentions, we feel into the desired outcome, we have a quick dance party, and then we hold each other accountable for 90 minutes to actually get it done. Projects that have been put off for the last 6 months get done in an hour. Stress about not knowing when or how you'll actually get the scary thing done is gone, because members know when they will be resourced and supported enough to handle it. Twice a month in Avoiding Avoidance group. We've had taxes finished early, we've had entire onboarding processes built, we've had entire sales pages completed, we've had full curriculums designed. We've had all emails for a launch taken care of in the space of a single meeting. Today, someone got really frustrating licensure paperwork largely sorted out. Someone else got 2 grant proposals off. So, why does this work when all these smart folks being left to their own devices with all the access in the world to information, with all the research they've already done, with all the know-how and skill they already possess? Why does this work when being left to their own devices wasn't? Well, this is why we got to talk about factoring in emotions to entrepreneurship, to business, to marketing. Because as much as we'd like to pretend you can just check your emotions at the door, A, it's not possible, and trying to isn't healthy. So I've intentionally built out this squad event, the Avoidance group, to really factor in how we're feeling, bringing a sense of safety to the body, creating a fun and supportive atmosphere, and having these kind of built-in emotional safety checkpoints. So allow me to explain. We do set the goals in the beginning, which is fairly straightforward for a working session, right? This isn't novel or new. But then I give the group a choice of where we need to direct our energy in order to be able to get into deep focus for this group. So our current members almost always choose the dance party option where we just dance to one song. And I love this option for working out excess energy or for feeling kind of tired and sluggish to bring the energy up. And it's just kind of silly. You don't have to leave your camera on, but I leave my camera on. I dance like a maniac. It's just a fun way to bring the energy up. And then if you're feeling more in the anxiety headspace, we need to bring it down, we need to center. we need to get focused. There's also a breathing option where we can do the 4-7-8 breath for the song, but so far the group always picks the dance party. So this is part of like, let's physically pay attention to the state of our body. What does our body need? What does it need tending to before we can ask it to focus on a task that brings us anxiety, that causes us stress, that may feel unpleasant, that has us feeling like avoiding it is the better option to our safety, to what our lizard brain thinks keeps us safe, than to actually do it and get it done. So we address the body first. How are we feeling? Which, when we ask, how are we feeling, this requires us to check in, be present with ourselves. So the opposite of dissociating, of avoiding ourselves. And then we do a fun little exercise to bring the body on board for the task we're doing. Next, we play a song to get our physical place ready for us to go into deep focus. So this might involve, we spend the song cleaning off our desk area. We put it in order so we're not getting distracted by piles and clutter. Maybe we forgot to pee before the meeting. Maybe we need to go brew a quick cup of coffee, get some water, get some tea, get some snacks handy. Maybe we need to kindly ask the dog not to be in the room at this time. So we set the conditions very intentionally first to really be able to go into deep focus for the tasks we've been avoiding, or we have some anxiety about, or we're feeling overwhelmed and intimidated by. So next we go into deep focus sessions of varying lengths. They're usually 15 minutes, then 20 minutes, then 25 minutes, depending on how long our check-ins take. And then we're all on mute. The members have an option to message me or DM me on Zoom if they run into any sticky areas, or they need some cheerleading or some support or some ideas, or me to look at what they're working on. So this is also a built-in safety. So one, protecting the group's focus by the requirement everyone be on mute during the deep focus sessions, but also having a lifeline. Like if you are really getting in your head or really feeling stuck, you can talk to me and I'm right there to answer. And then also we get to borrow each other's calm and borrow each other's focus. It's this container that lets us be doing what the herd is doing, that makes it a little more soothing, a little easier. And just to know that we're only working in these bursts. So we only have to get through 15 minutes at first, and then we're going to have a quick little check-in. Really helps to create a lot of safety where we aren't feeling safe to do these scary, challenging tasks that might be triggering, might bring up a lot of emotion, might really get us in our heads if we were to do them on our own. So then at the end of our focus period, we have a quick check-in. Does anyone want to celebrate a win? Does anyone have a question? Is anyone feeling stuck? And we keep this really tight, so only a few minutes to talk about this, just to make sure everybody's amped and getting ready. And it's pretty cool, even after just that first 15-minute work session, a lot of people are like, wow, I've been putting this task off for weeks and I just got so freaking much done. And so we repeat this with longer deep focus intervals. And then at the end, there's always time to go around and acknowledge the work we've done, the emotions that we've faced, how we handled it, what we're going to do moving forward. And then I'm always encouraging members to celebrate themselves for facing this scary thing. And I'm redoing my sales page for the squad, and I recently messaged everybody in our private group, and I'm like, hey, could you let me know, like, what's your favorite event? What's your favorite things you've experienced in the squad so far? And people actually said these avoidance groups, which happen twice a month, are one of their favorite aspects of the group because they get so much done. And this tells me that it's working, y'all. Like, I designed this as a neurofestive person, and I designed the group for neurofestive people. I designed it for us highly sensitive people who experience a lot of emotion, and due to toxic conditioning from unjust systems we live in, maybe even unjust family dynamics or intimate relationships, we've really been taught to get by in systems that weren't built for us, that in order to do that, that we really need to cut ourselves off from ourselves. We need to cut ourselves off from our emotional experience. We need to cut ourselves off from our feelings, from our desires, from what we want in order to do as we're told, be good employees, be good girls. And so a lot of the squad, well, yes, the focus is on marketing. The focus is on building our personal brands and our small businesses and using our voice in really powerful, magnetic, attractive ways. It's about claiming the value of our work and charging appropriately for it so we can continue to offer the work long term. But it's also tends to involve a kind of intense healing process. Because for my people who have been so conditioned that they're not allowed to use their authentic voice, that they're not allowed to feel how they feel or express how they're feeling, they're not allowed to have boundaries. We got really good at navigating these systems that weren't built for us. We developed some very powerful coping mechanisms, and my people are smart as fuck. Like, we are really smart people. So we learned how to navigate these systems in really masterful ways until they felt so unfulfilling, so damaging to spirit, that we were like, we gotta do something else. We gotta find out how to bring our true work into the world and support ourselves enough to offer it in a sustainable way, in a way that gets us paid, that gets our needs met, that allows us to be resourced enough to give in the way we want to give so that we can help the people we want to help, so that we can create the art we want to create, the music we want to create, so we can make the world more beautiful and lead beautiful lives, not in survival mode, like very resourced, very nourished and abundant, wealthy lives. But for my people, this tends to require so much healing, because that's like the opposite of what we've been conditioned to do, to navigate in toxic systems that were not built for us or with our best interests in mind. And why so many coaching programs where the aligned client comes from a much more privileged background than a lot of my people who don't have to deal with the added challenges of being neurodivergent, of not having a fully able body, of surviving intense trauma, surviving abuse, of having multiple intersecting marginalized identities. Like, each one of these marginalized identities and experiences you've had required you to put on more masks. So in order to get by in unjust systems that weren't built for you, or sometimes were specifically built to keep people like you out, you were deeply conditioned to put on more and more and more masks. So the unmasking that is required for us to build our heart-centered, most soul-aligned businesses and to share about them in a powerful way that attracts our aligned people, that really communicates the value of what we're having to offer, requires a deep unmasking, and that can bring up a lot. It can be really challenging. Like they say, owning a business is one of the most intense personal development undertakings you could ever do. But for a lot of my people, it's even more intense than average, because we've had to wear more masks than the average person, because we are starting from -10 as opposed to 1 or 2 out of 10, which makes a lot of the mindset work take us some more practice, have some more support. We need to be taught and conditioned in a more loving and gentle and patient way than what is often really popular in the mainstream business coaching world, in the big name manifestation world. We just need more care than that. We need more of our barriers that we're facing factored in to how we learn how to do business, how we learn entrepreneurship, how we do marketing. And I'm not saying this to coddle you or like you're weak or less than. I'm just saying I built my program for the people who are being underserved by these other programs, where the information is useful, but we need more attention to the ways in which we're coming at this from a deficit due to some bullshit that isn't even ours. So, all this is to say that this is the beauty of a group that was made by and for neurofestives. This is the beauty of a business group that does not pretend like emotional stuff doesn't often interrupt business stuff. This is the beauty of a business group that makes room for the human experience. And I freaking love us so much. So if you keep trying to stuff your brain into neurotypical business containers and you keep feeling like you're falling behind, not doing it right, or are not good enough, perhaps it's time to seek support from a group that celebrates the way you're wired and helps you to find systems that actually work for you. If you just said, dang, I need that, you'd be very, very welcome in the squad. You can find all about my marketing mastermind for big-hearted black sheep or rebel entrepreneurs at the link for the squad in the show notes. And thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Please don't forget to tip me some stars and a kind review on your way out. All right, love you, bye.